can't wait to share with you the insight that I got while watching this video of a interview or a conversation between Ram Dass and I think Vietnam monk person, master. And then that master said something that really shocked me. He said, it's something so obvious, but he pointed out, and it just shocked me, that a flower, you look at it, a flower is made of all the elements that are non-flowers. So a flower does not exist. Like, if you look deep into a flower, you don't see flower. You see all the non-flower elements. You see all the elements, like the atoms. You see the rest of the universe. You see the whole universe in a flower. You see everything other than a flower if you look deep into a flower. And that just made me realize that, earlier this day I was thinking about separation. I was thinking about how we are here experiencing separation while we are not separated at all, like on a spiritual level or a consciousness level. But the fact is, we're not even separated on a physical level because, even if you hold an item in your hand and you feel like you are separated from that item, but actually there is this continuum of atoms or things smaller than atoms that connect you continuously, your body and this item itself. You look at all the objects in your room, you feel like you're separated from them physically, but actually you're not, because you're not looking close enough. You're just looking at I don't know what you're looking at, but even if you look closer, or you don't even have to look closer, the fact is that there's this continuum from you to all the objects in the room, because you are all made of this extremely small thing or smaller things than atoms. And just think about the fact that every single thing in the universe is made up of the exact same things. And one idea just came. I'm not familiar with physics at all, so I'm gonna be wrong here. But I just thought, are atoms being created, or the amount of atoms existing stay exactly the same? Because, well, what I've learned from physics is that, or chemistry, is things don't disappear. They just turn from one thing into another in a different form. Like water dries, but water doesn't disappear. Water turns into gas, vapor. Nothing disappears. Everything transfers into another. So I wonder, maybe there are no atoms being created right now. All the atoms in the whole universe are the same, but maybe I'm wrong here. I'm just, because I don't know anything about physics. And if you think, I can't even think, how can atoms be created? Like, maybe atoms can be created, but are there this thing that's just the smallest unit, smaller than atom, that can't be broken further? But let's just say, because I don't know that, but let's just assume that atom is just the smallest unit that makes up everything. And there are no more new atoms being created. Everything is made of the same atoms over and over. Like, today I am made of these atoms in my body, but like a 1,000 years ago, they used to make up something else, a different person, a different object, a tree, or some plastic shit. I don't know. Do you know? See, when you look at a garbage, you think it's so dirty. But it's also, you're looking at a bunch of atoms. And it's just atoms. It's not garbage. There's no garbage here. You're looking at atoms. So, what did I want to say? I forget. Oh, okay, I remember now. I was thinking about, like there's no self. Like when you look at a flower, you think there's a flower, but there's no flower. They're just atoms. There's no flower here. The flower itself, even, is made of everything that is non flower. And so there are no selves in the universe. Whatever you look at is not a self in and of itself. It's always made of something that's not it. And so this question that's really a classic, is there a self? And then I ask myself, do I experience myself, the existence of myself? Do I experience a self in my own experience? So it's very obvious what I experience my thoughts. I see them, I can speak them out loud like I'm doing right now. I experience feelings, sensations. That's all. I don't have the experience of and self. Okay, that is not my experience at all. It's just an abstracted concept, just exactly like the concept of a flower. A flower is not a real thing. It's a abstracted concept. I mean, this universe, this existence is marvelous. It's like miraculous. The more you look at it, it's like a big fucking puzzle game with so many mysterious mysteries going on, waiting for you to decode. And the more you discover, the more you understand how the truth just applies onto every single aspect of our existence. Not just no longer like anything like any enlightenment you get from spirituality on a spiritual level, you realize that it can be also applied to all the physical aspects of our existence. And it's very we just tend to believe that the spiritual side of ourselves is separated from the physical side, as if they're two completely different worlds. But the fact is, you look around, even an object in your room, is it really not spiritual? Like, it's an object, it's lifeless, it doesn't have a soul whatsoever. But really, just based on what I've just said in this video so far, if you look at an object, you look at it with completely new eyes now, with all the insights that I just shared with you. You also now can feel this physical unity between you and all the objects in the room. There is no separation, not even on a physical level. I think that's just really shocking. I mean, it is very obvious, but because we don't notice it, we don't realize it. Even if it's obvious, it's a fact. But since we've never looked at it, we don't get the chance to be shocked by it. Like I was just shocked by it. It's not that it's the first time that I actually thought about it this way, but now this is the first time that I actually really look at it for long enough, to have this realization. I don't know the meaning of why I'm here, but I write posts and I post online and I make videos like this, and maybe these are my legacies. Well, they might not get known or read or heard by people, but I know they will still be here when I die, after I die. So maybe this is the meaning of my life, is to make these videos or to write those articles, poems, or whatever that I post online. Maybe these are my legacy. They are the meaning of my life. Maybe one day they would like explode and just become super popular or whatever. I don't know, after I die or whatever. My biggest question for always is, why are we having this human experience here? Why do we have this universe here? Why do we have this experience, physical experience here? Why and why and why do we have any experience at all? Especially this experience in separation, you know? We're experiencing separation here. There are many attempts of explanations from many different fields, from philosophy or different aspects of spirituality, and none of them is so far convincing enough for me. So I'm still looking, you know? And, actually, the more you look at it, look at the traits, the characteristics of our experience, the more you can see that it's definitely not random. It's definitely for a purpose. But you just look at it. First of all, consciousness is a big whole continuum, which is the ultimate reality itself, the thing that makes up everything. Everything is made of consciousness. And there's nothing that is not consciousness. There's nothing that is out of consciousness. There's nothing that is non-consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Consciousness is all. All is consciousness. But here, and consciousness is inseparable, but here we are having, so many people here are having this experience of separation. Does it look like something random to you? At least it looks to me it is extremely intentional. And I personally think randomness is really just some conclusion that you can only get from a physicalist point of view. From a physicalist point of view, looking at the world from seeing it as pure materialistic. Well, yeah, you literally just have to use a randomness to explain many things, because I think randomness is more like an excuse or an attempt to avoid truly explaining certain things. There are things that we can't really explain at all that just appear to be complete disorder, because from a physicalist point of view, many things don't make any sense at all. So, they call them randomness, but really, randomness does not exist. I intuitively think I did not get this conclusion out of any intellectual thinking. I just know that there is no randomness going on anywhere in any corner of existence. Everything is tension, is intention. There's no randomness ever anywhere at all. And many things prove this point, right? To be fair, many things are like evidence supporting this, not like it's not proven. I just know it's true, I know it's true. I know it's true. Earlier this day, I was attempting to explain our experience by using, randomness. I thought maybe, it's all random, it's really not meaningful at all. We are here just because of this random activity in consciousness existence. It's really not purposeful at all. But then it just didn't it just didn't make sense. It just suddenly came to me that it's a very commonly used explanation from the physicalist point of view. And all of a sudden I understood why I wanted to explain everything that way, is because I was raised in a physicalist point of view, physicalist culture, with no religion whatsoever, just science and logic, intellectuality. Really, that is just a way, I got this insight only now that randomness is really just an excuse or a way to avoid really explaining things, or it just, I think if you have to, like, if your line, whatever line of logic that you're on, if it leads you to make a conclusion that something in existence is just pure randomness, I think that line of logic is definitely wrong to an extent. Because I think the correct line of logic, or the correct way of understanding the world, would be able to completely exclude randomness. It would be able to include everything. Like, it would be able to explain every single thing, even the things that would appear random to many people. And wouldn't it be really, wouldn't it make complete sense, a lot of sense to you, that since everything is consciousness, like consciousness is the ultimate reality, is what everything is made of, and nothing is non-conscious, everything is conscious basically, then shouldn't every single thing be conscious, like intentional? I mean, you get what I mean, right? There's no randomness here. Randomness only occurs to things that are not conscious. Like when you look at an object, it rolls around on the floor. You kick it, it just roll around completely randomly, right? But I mean, you look at on a microscope, on a micro. How do you say this? You just look deeper into it, and you see every atom is made of consciousness. Then the movement of an atom or anything would be completely conscious rather than random. Including all the cells in your body, they are not random. They all have their own jobs. They all are doing their jobs to keep you alive. Your skin constantly, all the time, updating itself. Every 7 years, all the cells in your body get completely replaced. Everything's in extreme order. They are all, they can't be random. Well, that makes sense. But then what about the rest of the world? Since they are not really different from us in the way that we tend to think, we have been thinking for centuries. Also, combined with what I just said so far, how we are not really physically separated at all from anything, any objects, anything physical. So now I'm at a point, really, it wouldn't surprise me too much if the door in front of me somehow opens. Well, it would still startle me, but it's not something like impossible for me anymore, you know what I mean? It can be manipulated. I have no doubt. It would startle me, it would scare me to death, but I know it's not something impossible to happen anymore. everything is possible. The marvelous conclusion that you can get out of this is that there's nothing that is impossible. Nothing is too good to be true. Anything could happen. You can think anything you can think of can happen. You can think of maybe an animal could speak, and they can't actually speak. It's not something impossible. There's nothing that is impossible here. The door might be able to open on itself. You might be able to, let me think of. You might be able to fly one day. Like physically, you can elevate your body. And, I've heard like some people actually have done it. There's nothing, and you can bend a spoon with your conscious, like in the movies. You know what? What I've learned so far is that our real life is actually even more shocking, even more marvelous than any movies that we've seen so far. You don't know how magical our life is. More magical than Harry Potter. That's what I've what I've learned so far. And isn't that marvelous? You watch a movie now, when I watch movies, I look at the movie and it's really great. Great movies, and then I think my life is actually even more magical than the movie, even more exaggerated than any movie. Because the movies are made of limited human consciousness, limited points of view, but our life itself, is not limited at all. Because consciousness can do anything. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible, because I personally have witnessed impossible things happen myself. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Holy shit. And now that is not just an encouragement, or something to like a slogan or something you tell yourself when you're discouraged. It's actually a fact. I'm stating it as a matter of fact. That's just how crazy it is. Damn it. You know what? That's just so crazy. Everything has meaning. Yeah, that's another conclusion that you can get out of a world that is pure consciousness. The consciousness, if consciousness is the ultimate reality, then everything has meaning. Only, you know what? Life is meaningless. Universe is meaningless. These conclusions are drawn, what do you guess? Out of those physicalist points of views. When you look at the world and you think it's just pure materialism, yeah, you draw conclusions such as randomness or meaninglessness. But when you look, when you know that everything is consciousness, these two things can be totally eliminated. You just know that they aren't true. They can be true. It's just an intuitive knowing. I don't know how to explain it to you. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But I get it, and I know that it's true. I have no doubt, let me tell you. And that makes our life so much more fun. And so much more hopeful. We're not like suffering for nothing if we're suffering at all. Nothing happens for nothing. Everything happens for meaning, and that meaning won't be satisfying enough for you. Won't be worth it 100%. This life is like a big puzzle game. They say we've chosen our lives, our life paths, our family member, our appearances, our nationalities, birth dates, ourselves. We've chosen them ourselves for a reason. We've chosen a life path, a life plan, and yet we come here, we arrive here with no clue. And look at the world, we look around, there's so many things to understand. that we don't understand yet. Such as for example, look around. The first thing you think about is, the how do you call it? Oh shit, what is it called? The thing in Egypt, the pyramid, for example, it's like a world mystery. How is it built? Isn't it fascinating to think about? There's something out there that is physically there that we don't know how it was possibly built. Isn't it fascinating? What we have are just assumptions, Nobody knows. But I know now how it's built. Just before I knew it, only recently, I had no idea. It's just such a fascinating, exciting mystery. It's like a puzzle game out there waiting to be solved. And look at our lives. And our own individual lives are a puzzle game for each of us. We came here with no clue what we're here for. But there is a meaning there. We got a life plan. We're not told. We don't know how, and we don't even know why we're here. Like as a whole, why this world exists at all, we don't know. I don't know. At least none of the explanations could convince me enough. Because I think really deeply, and I need something that can convince me enough to a point that I would not be able to question it any further. Like that's the ultimate answer that can just convince me 1000%. That's what I want. I can't settle for less. I can't settle for an answer that's just okay, everybody, because most people agree, then that must be true. But if it just can't, if I have questions that it can't answer, it's not enough for me. It will have to be something that can just answer every question that I have. Another thing I know is, well, really, when I think about the ultimate reality, the ultimate consciousness, all there is, you can't even begin to understand it. You can't, not at all. It's just so vast. It's so big. It's a completely different dimension. But I think I know that all my questions would have an answer that can be put into human languages that I would be able to understand from a human point of level. For example, why we're here. Why we're here. Why are we here? I mean, not individually. I'm just speaking as a whole. Why does our world exist at all? Why are we here being humans? Other planets, why is there this universe? Why? And why, oh why? Why? I think I'm not getting closer to that answer each day. Because I'm getting new insights. Every single day, I get some new insights about something. Just a while ago, I wasn't even asking this question. I only started asking just a few months ago, When I first got into spirituality, this question was not there. I had other questions, and they were answered. Only after that, I started to have this question. Actually, maybe I had this question, but it was answered, and I was satisfied with the answer back then. But just moving on, I wasn't satisfied anymore somehow. That answer just couldn't satisfy anymore, because something in me maybe expanded, like some space was expanded for more. So all of a sudden, those answers just weren't enough anymore, not even valid. They looked like So now I can see like how most people can just satisfy with those answers. Because I once was satisfied with them. I once was. And so I can understand why so many people aren't asking this question that I'm asking and aren't desiring an answer that I do, that I am. I once was frustrated just yesterday. I was frustrated. How come everybody just settles for that, for those answers? Because they're obviously not for me now. Obviously not enough. But now I understand, because for some people they're enough. Not everybody needs to be as philosophical as I am. Maybe that's my mission. My mission here, obviously, I think so, is to be philosophical as I can go. Because that just enables me to dig deeper, until I find the gold, until I satisfy. And I think I won't be satisfied. And one thing I am 100% sure is that every single question has an answer. No doubt. There are only more answers. There are no more questions than there are answers. Why? Because this I think is one other and intuitive knowing. I don't know how to explain it. I just know that every question has an answer. Now you get three things. The first thing is nothing is impossible. Second thing is everything is consciousness. Everything is meaningful. The third thing is every question has an answer. These are the ultimate truths that I know, that I can tell you. And you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe anybody. Like me, I don't believe in anybody. If it doesn't convince me, it doesn't convince me. I don't believe in anything. I have to be convinced. I can't believe. I can't believe. I have to be convinced. I'm not a believer. I either know or I don't know. I can't believe. Even when I say I believe, I don't. I don't. If it can't convince me, even if I say I believe, I don't. There are doubts. I have doubts. Well, I'm a highly intuitive person. That's one of the ways. I don't only explore the world, intellectually. A large part of my exploration is purely intuitive. Many questions are just answered intuitively rather than intellectually. Actually, your intellectuality is so much less advanced than your intuition. You should rely so much more on your intuition than on your intellectuality, because your intellectuality is literally just a tool. It doesn't guide you anywhere, but your intuition does. And your intuition guides you, leads you somewhere. Your intellectuality doesn't lead you anywhere. It's just a tool, a limited human tool. However intellectual you are, you can be more intelligent than Einstein. You can be double intelligent. You still aren't intelligent enough to answer all the because just imagine consciousness as a whole is how much more intelligent than you as a human being. It's not about consciousness. It's not about intellectuality. Actual wisdom is all about intuition. Intellectuality is really just a tool that we use to explore the world in the absence of wisdom. I mean, I just stated some fucking good thing that I should write down. I'm so good at this. Just think about what I just said. Isn't that just so cool? Because we don't have access to wisdom because we are, we are here, and I hate to just say things that are limiting. Like people just say we're human beings, so we're so small, we're so limited, and we are in separation, and so we are really kind of retarded. We are like killing each other in wars. We're shit. We need to evolve. But the fact is, I don't like to look at it that way. It just sounds so depressing, isn't it? As if we're just stuck in a as if we're some sort of failure or something. But the thing is, it's just part of a process that is going on. It is a unskippable step. It's like on a ladder. You must have the first ladder. You must have the first stair to go up to the second. Even though there is a 10th stair, that is the highest that we're going towards, that we're looking up to, or looking up at, and you're on the first stair, you can't curse at the first stair just because it's so much lower than the 10th stair, but without the first stair, you can't go to the 10th stair. I mean, that's just a metaphor. Just a way of understanding where we are now without cursing it, saying it's so shitty and human beings are doomed, and people say, oh, we are all fucking craps. Look at the world as a fucking crap. I mean, you don't have to look at it that way because it doesn't help you. It just makes you feel shitty because you're also part of the thing that you call crap. We have wars, and yeah, I don't understand. Again, before that biggest question of mine gets answered, there's so many things I don't understand about the world, and very often I get really grumpy. I get so depressed, and when I forget about everything that I'm talking about right now, I can just get so depressed looking at the world and feeling complete meaninglessness because I don't have that answer to my question. I don't understand why I'm here. I don't understand what the world's here. Hence, the suffering in the world. They look just so meaningless, and they look so like nothing's worth it. But yeah, like I said, those three things that I got conclusions. Intuitive, knowing nothing is impossible. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing, I know it. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing is impossible. You can expect to see 2 suns in the sky tomorrow. That would not be impossible. Not everything is possible. They're just they're just things you can't imagine. Everything you can imagine is possible. Tomorrow you see your dog growing 2 wings. That's possible. Tomorrow you become a unicorn. Everything is possible. And second is every question has an answer. There are only more answers than questions, not more questions than answers. And all the answers will be satisfying 100%. 100% satisfying. And third thing is everything is meaningful. Everything is meaningful. Nothing is random. Everything is meaningful, and everything is sufficiently meaningful, meaning like you are asking about, for example, the meaning of suffering in the world. You think it's not worth it. But when you get the answer, you would realize it's all worth it. It's more than just worth it. It's worth so much more. The like let's just give you an example. Let's say that you get something from your suffering. And that thing that you will get out of all the suffering you go through, it's just worth so much more than the suffering that you go through. I mean, it's not an 100% appropriate metaphor, but it's just a way to convey my point here. just based on those 3 rules that I got intuitively. They might not make sense to me, but they make perfect sense to me. I mean, not intellectually, because like I said, I didn't get them through my intellectuality. I got them intuitively. They make perfect sense to me, and I think they're right. I don't know why, but I just got it. I told you, this intuitive knowing. To be fair, intuitive knowings should make sense to every single person. So they should make sense to you. Somehow they don't make sense to you, then I don't know why. There must be some reasons. But I'm sure they make sense. They are universal truths. Every single question has an answer. Everything is meaningful, and nothing is impossible. Nothing is too good to be true. Nothing. I really hate this sentence, too good to be true. It is just too good to be true. It's a bullshit. There's nothing that is too good to be true. Nothing. Everything is possible. Nothing impossible. Nothing impossible. I think specifically because I've personally experienced it myself, So, I don't know it. Maybe because you haven't experienced something that is just impossible, so you can't really grasp this. Once you experience it, you know. I think that's all I have to say. My throat kind of hurts from, I guess, singing. I'm not sure though. Could be just the dryness of the air. But I think it's just the singing that I did. I thought I was progressing, but shit, I don't like to think about this. I was just moving on, finish watching that video. I've been only talking for 40 minutes. It could have been 1 hour and a half. It's only 40 minutes. I'm really happy. Thank you for listening. See you later. Maybe when you're watching this video, I'm already dead.